everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at ZEROBASEONE's track entitled New Kids on the Block. This is my technical start to their ZEROBASEONE marathon. The reason why I didn't start with In Bloom is I already have taken a look at it even before watching Boys Planet, so that's why we're starting here. I'm very excited to dive in. We get a dance practice and a demo to watch. I'm ready, I hope you are. Let's go. Okay. Oh. This is so fun, because I know where they came from. It's so cool. Such a catchy track. New kids on the block. Take it to the bridge. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Teddy. A little train. That was cute. Oh, nice. Nice. Kids on the block. Yep. Got some old school influence in our choices, which is nice. Really fun. Ooh! Did we just do a little vibration at the end? That was very fun. Oh, that was cool. Do we have a Weed and Boys demo? Yes, we do. Let's watch it. Did I press play? I did. Okay. That intro was pretty long. Here we go. I'm ready. Yeah, party. Hey. Cool. Them Boys doing it feels like We Them Boys. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you feel a little bit of nuance of your choreographer in the final product. They took some of the We Them Boys groove out of it. Nice. New kids on the... Good tension there. Dynamics are slightly different. Nice. Nice. Cool. Okay. This, I don't think, they didn't have that. Because it was just Ted by himself, right? Yeah, there's been some changes. I liked that, though, a lot. The tension out of it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Get into the trains. I was wondering. Okay. They kept it. Nice. So we have that old school hip-hop vibe. We also have a little bit of house in it, too. Fun. They do a little juvie slide, too. It's on the block. Da-da-da-da-da. Bum-ba-bum-bum-ba-bum. New kids on the block. That was fun. Like, I like, honestly, seeing a difference between the group and We Them Boys doing it, where you have the same structure, but it's a completely different texture, and both are justified, which is cool. I love that. And not justified, it's like, yeah, whenever you, yes, the choreographers have a right to justify it because it's their own stuff, but then ZEROBASEONE, it's their track. So do I see this as a successful collaboration? I would say so, because both are able to make it work for what it works as, you know? So here we go, from the top. So everybody already looks like, I know I just paused it and they hadn't technically done anything, but they all facing different directions is really nice. You have subtlety with Hal being the only one looking to us, and then everybody takes it, some tension on the shoulders. We have a little bit of a bleed out, a little waving happening from Ted, which is cool. We do a little peel in with the fingers. We pull away, which we're here for with Han-bin. It's also really fun too, like I'm fully aware of who's who because I watched an entire show of how they got together. Body roll up tension, which we love. Good for Gonwook as well, because a question I had while watching the episodes was Gonwook's fullness going to impact the overall synergy of the group? Because sometimes when somebody goes so full out like that, it can work against how the group's composition looks, because I've noticed that with some other Gen 5 groups in their early stuff, but here he looks mighty fine. He blends in so well. Okay, I like the reach up is nice. We drop 1, 2, 3 little drops. Now this track reminds me of Justin Bieber has a song called Close to You, or it's called To You. It feels like it's in the same family tree of vibe, and I really like that song by him. So I think that's probably why this song's growing on me in a really cool way. I like it. A lot of the timbres, tonal colors are my preference, for sure. So they slide it over, dun dun dun, the V-step with a double back. It's really cool. High to low. So this move here, it's like a little toss it up with both arms. So with one arm, you've seen, what is it? It's not, what's this? Da, 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 da. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, we're gonna go with the toss it up here, but it's with one arm instead of two. 1, 2, 3. But they focus more on the hips too. A lot of times you would notice people switch the weight and they actually jump on it, which is cute. And then it's like, so when I said it was a heavy old school influence, they make it more, not new school, but how they go about it's just a little bit different, where they go the punch and punch out. Like the punch out gives a similar impression if you were to see a Bismarcky, but they don't drop for a full one. They just do like half of one, which is what I find fun. Little jump rope with the upper body. So the upper body is reading certain elements, but the lower body is varying it, which is sweet. So they twist the heel, New Kids on, they set it up, and it looks like they're scooping through into a wave with the hand, which I find interesting. Little pose, and we go swim, swim away. But the clap is nice. So this move here, it does look like we're doing an outlaw or a shmoney is what I've heard it called in like the viral social media sense. Da 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 da, but it's a different rhythm, syncopated, which is cool. And this one here, I do feel like they don't have, I mean, they all were very clear on getting on the same page on their torsos. Because they're also singing, my assumption would be we're not using this type of groove too much because you're singing and you want to just be mindful of that when you gotta do what you gotta do with the pickup there. So all of that, it could cater similar to what you see in House, Farmer, but we're not using the, I mean, God, man, this is tripping me up. There was like a New Jeans track that felt that way as well. Yeah, pick it up, pick it up. I'm gonna go Farmer for that. Yeah, if we're just missing a groove, a jack or something that would equate it to really lock that in. But because we see other house elements, I'm pretty safe to say we're going to go Farmer for that. The pickup on the arm, so it goes 1, 2, and 3, 4. We travel it up with an extra 2 counts into it, which is nice. We turn. How is the only one looking front, and then we take the chest, doom, doom, chest, and we present it down. Come on, Gonwooks, enter the chat. We have running, and I really like that half of our guys go forward and half do the same move, but they go backwards. Really interesting, right? He gets revealed, that rush, suspension, good with the balance. And then they pull it in with the place, and they do a little twist of the feet there. He rotates the fingers over, and then we go. We have a little positioning, and then we continue on. And then here we go, next group. Also with, what is it? Weedham Boys' theirs was a moving cam, which is why some elements can look very different when it comes to like a curtain reveal or a camera reveal of a group compared to a fixed cam. I love fixed cams. We're going to stick true and stay true to it because you get to see in observation what's going on the sides as well as what's going on in center. How do the transitions, how do people get in and out of their formations? We get to appreciate all aspects, not just what the camera shows us in performance versions and things like that. So the kicks are nice, and then we end up keeping that leg up and then using it to hop over it and place down. So that was a great balance from all 4 of them for that little body roll. We take the hands up, and then we bring the knee in, boom, da dun dun dun, and then from there, my assumption in my brain is close to you into the pre-chorus of Justin Bieber's track, which is why. Like the dun 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 really resonates familiarly to me. But remember, I've touched on this before. Whenever your brain creates patterns and you hold a song to a certain degree of patterns of expectation, right? In this song, I've already said what track it reminds me of, with some of the instrumentation also involved with how the rhythm and the pitch is operating. That song I already really like. And so if there's any deviations or changes, which this song naturally would have, hopefully it's not a straight up copy of another song, you would want it to be new patterns that shape that allow you to appreciate both songs. But, you know, it feels like you learn something when you hear a song with different patterns, but there's familiarity. All that to say, that's what this song shows, which to me is probably why I end up appreciating it as much as I do for those reasons. With the knee is cool, cross on cross. Then we have a little wave, high, high, and low, and we double it up on the low. Now this part here, they made it more of a groove with Weedham Boys with the focus of the legs. Here, it's more stoic. They go high, low. It turns into an add-on where they hinge over, they come up with that heel twist and that crush, cross, uncross. Now, oh my gosh, hold on. Gyven. This is Gyven's part, but Tere and How, it looks like they're mouthing the words. So there was, for a second, I was like, Tere, is this your part? You're rapping, but your main vocal. That's his part. And I guess this can lead into a note, because it's a fixed cam, everybody's on the same level and same height. So personally, I do believe having a subtly lower level, at least in these front two, would allow for us to more clearly be able to identify Gyven as the singer or the feature for the part. It is a bit hard. Yes, he's on the inside, but because we also have other people mouthing the words, it does get a little bit tricky to find him because he's a little bit more shaded or deeper in the formation. So that's my little note there. He is the only one not really moving as much as everybody else, so that can also help, which is what we're noticing to pick up on him. He goes hit, 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 and everybody drops slow. Also, everybody was facing us, and so I really didn't notice Gyven until they all were sent to the side except for him. So that's why I keep the note what it is, because that is exactly what I physically experienced watching this. Okay, from here, we body roll it up, come on, with the subtle head nods, and then we go hop, hop, hop. It's cute. They go way, and I like the finger rotation around one side to another, and the heads respond. Come on, fringe for days. He pulls it in. They all trace up. We have a pull in from our feature there. Ricky is now into the chat. We have a letter X. He's in the point of it. And the heel toes are really fun, super gimmicky. I really like it. He does a little shampoo around. They push forward a little bit more, out in, and then we take the fist, 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 ball change, oh, and then we go doom, doom, double on that with the shoulder. It's really cool where you hear these do-do-do-doom, and we hear that part of the music because of their bodies and how they're responding to the track. I like moments like that. That's good musicality. Doom, doom. It looks like he vibrated it, but there's two basses. Doom, doom, doo-doo-doo-doom. And then we bring it in. Notice it is easier for us to find Jung because he's the only one facing us. Even though everybody's heights were the same, the directions of everybody's bodies allowed for us to clock our feature more effectively there, which goes back to my previous point with the Gyven recommendation for his part. They take the elbows to go out and up, and then they end up doing a little Charleston out of it with the arm rotation. So they take the arms, they're scooping them. Looks like we're just picking up the feet, not really doing a farm, we're quite there yet. They send it off, and then we make it move to the other side into a heel click. And then we cross some scissors, and then we end up crossing about 3 times. Cross, uncross, and smile. And then we do a trot trot, so it's 2 hops to get us into a V. And then we take it back with our hips, or our weight goes to the back, and then it travels to the front. So it goes back, where the gimmick is the switching of the weight in the transition between the low and the high part of our ISOs. So that's cool. Into I'm not a full-on like reject. We just push that leg through and a subtle little chug moment. We have a Gyven moment over on stage left side, and everyone has a hello. A little bit more artistic, more individualized, because not everybody does the exact same thing. I think that's great. So they have the arms flick, and then we pull them in. Do I think ZEROBASEONE is going to be known for synchronicity? I feel like you guys know better than I would say they're very efficient, and they're going to be consistently together, but I don't believe they're going to have that crisp, abnormal, above average to the average of clean in the K-pop sense. They're not going to be known for like being squeaky, squeaky clean. And I think that's absolutely okay, especially knowing they come from Boys Planet. They're a bunch of idols from different trainees from different sectors of companies, and they're all operating together. I think it allows for more artistry, individuality, of course, but it's not. It's definitely competitive for the Gen 5 side. But I'm gonna all that to say, I really don't think they're gonna be known for being the cleanest of the Gen 5s. Just from what I'm seeing here, this is the rookie era technically right now, and this is a B-side, and it's clean, but it's not even rookie clean, if I'm being honest. I feel like some of their Boys Planet stuff were cleaner, and that's, once again, absolutely fine. I don't think this track calls for being, uniform quite like that, but it's fun to kind of think through whenever you look at a group with this type of choreography and go, what are they going to be known for? In a lot of the movements they're doing, such as house and with hip hop, it's kind of allowing the beauty and freedom of community and making it be more of like a social scene, which I always find to be very fun to appreciate. Pull-ins are nice, so they have the little jump rope. Again, it feels a little different because our formation is, we have those diagonals, then we have a little grouping in the middle. Spacing could be a smidgen better, but whatever, right? So they do 1, 2, and double. Well, no, I was expecting a single and then double, but they did 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have Yujin have his little moment over here on the side. A little high note, because he intentionally doesn't finish out the phrase, it allows us to see him as that ad-lib take shape in the track. So that, to me, looks successful. They kick out in, and they pull, bring it to the inside. Now we have a column. It's really tricky to get them to a straight line and then immediately go into a cannon, which would be a transitional cannon. You have Jiyoung in center. I love his absence of movement there. That kind of stuff's really effective when you got a lot of people. They're a group of 9, so they're the largest small group that you would equate to. And I know some people are like, what? This is considered a small group? Yes, in studio competitions, a small group would be between 4 and 9 people. I know for Mega Cruise for HHI, it starts at 11. So that's that 9, 10 threshold. Now, once you hit double digits, you start viewing it a little bit larger, right? So it's cool. They got the top end of a small group, which is great, but you still can do a lot of numbers, a lot of things with it, as you're noticing here. I like the rotation of the fist for that part. They end up kicking, they present out, come on with the slide into the leg, looks great. Then they end up tracing, so it complements that leg sliding, complemented the trace at the top, and it helped us clock it, appreciate it, because we already were exposed to it in some form or fashion earlier on in the 8 count. That's cool. And then we end up tracing or creating that tension once again. So it's 3 tensions across 2 traces, and then just a pull down with the upper and the lower body. Cool. Then we have a heel twist, and then we end up taking it, tapping that foot. A lot of footwork. Bless their hearts. They're probably exhausted doing this bad boy. They have Gangwook moving. They take the body, they swing it, and they body roll it out of it. And then they take the arms, move it with the shoulders. It does remind you of a RoboCop, but it's not that really at all. Oh, it's a hold on. I think it's a TLC. Is what I've seen moves like this reside as. Go be curious about this if you're like, what? What are you saying? There's a lot of moves that are named after artists. So there's the Janet, there's the Mary J. Blige, there's the, what is it? The Biz Markie, the Bobby Brown, just off the top. And then there's a one called the TLC. And this is what I learned it as. So I could be, once again, go be curious. It just depends on who you learn it from and what time period in which you learned it. Yeah, so that right there, love it. Okay, so they pull out in, they clap, and then it actually helps reside to New Kids on the Block. It's fun. And then they do a little trace, and then they do interruption. Pull in, he deviated differently than everybody else because of his arm, so that's nice to appreciate there. Here we go. So now they're in a circle. He says a Kerchow with a snap down. Then they are rotating around. So why does this work? Because they are all, once again, facing different directions outside of Ricky, who is in center facing front, right? So I like the turn out of it. So then they take the arms, and then they present low, and then they end up, boom, pulling by the sternum all the way down, which is really great. And then we end up taking our legs. We're doing a lotus, which is, yeah, it's not a mountain climber. I'm going to go lotus for that, where they're building it in. Well, if we're going lotus, there's this tap out for it, so we're actually going to go bedrock for this. But even then, it's not even complete from any one person. So you know what? It's just a peel down with the ball of the foot to help switch the weight. I like that they all take their head around. He takes it. He does another little pocket thread through. With everybody else, they melt it in. They turn out of it. Everyone's facing. I mean, it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Tere facing front, everybody else facing back. I do appreciate those who are most, who are closest to Tere being the ones facing back. So whenever they're facing front, we still have our feature in center. There's a separation by direction in play, which we're here for. Love that. Like, I think really it's only that given part that doesn't feel like we had an intentional formation choice, but then it makes me wonder. Let me go back to the demo and see what they did there. That's Gongmuk's part. Oh, and also that run reminded that they did is similar to the Jiyoung's part, but Jiyoung's part was a cannon. So they ended up doing it earlier, but it was everybody at the same time, and it was a different dynamic. So it's very familiar. Cool. But not enough for it to be just a copy and a recycle. It's Yujin's part. Yeah, so that's all the same there. And I wonder if the reason why it was fine is because he was taller. Could be that, but there's a lot of tall people in this group. So that was very fascinating. In the moving cam, it was easier to find your feature there. So I digress. That's why we like fixed cams. You can look at formations a little bit easier. Turn around to push. I like that from there. He's pushing, and then he ends up flicking the hands and switching them. Yeah, and it caused everybody to turn. Come on, visual. Simple, but effective. And then they go boom, boom on the bases, and we move on. Come on with the body roll. And then from here, he's in the front and center. It's easier for us to clock him. He's like, come on now. And then we go swim. And then we swivel the arm around, take the leg, and then we use the leg to swivel. So we went arm swivel, leg swivel. So there's a lot of arm-leg collaboration and doing the same thing, but different direction and with a different opposing side. And that makes it feel more full, and it makes it feel more communal. Now we have a little camel walk. Theirs didn't have as much of that, the groove that you would see in a camel walk, which is why it's easier to clock it there than here. But you see it here, they are using the upper body with the shoulders and the arm to make it a full body moment here. And they take it up, and then they end up doing a subtle gliding into it to go initiate side and move to the other side. Oh, so we take the knee, da-da-da, with the pickup. Come on now. They had a little suspension, and then we're going into a circle. Again, Jung now adjusts himself because he didn't quite make it in that center from the jump. That's life. Notice that there was a different level, a subtle level for him. And they go low and around. Charleston, boom, and he does a framing moment there too. Then we do a little subtle farmer moment. You got Matthew over in the corner. They clap it, and it goes swoop, fixing that hair. Little heel clap, and then we clap, and then we go. We switch the legs as we hop into them. It does look like a Charleston, but think more of a hopping version of that, right? And he goes slide, slide, and vibe. And then it goes New Kids on the block. Shake that hand. And then they do just a switch off, a little chug to replace that leg back. The pull is cool, and I like that Gyuvin pulled his arm to make it look like he was controlling them in that moment. And then you got How coming in, flick the arms, and bring them into a little jump roping moment. Then we expand the hands, New Kids on the block. So we do 2 of those. Notice instead of going forward, we're now going back, and now it's established a different formation. So it's a little V, V, and then you got a baby V right here. Cool, nice, pretty balanced. And of course, you got Yujin and Gunwook. My gut tells me they're supposed to be mirrored, but Yujin is a little bit too far forward. But then he has his feature, which is what makes it passable. Cool. Both times we figured that out was because Yujin had a solo moment. Now we have the clap, clap, claps. They're nice and low, and he takes his arm. Good range, Ricky, with his hand coming up, and everybody's bodies go to match. Really cool. And then he takes his arm. This is his go-to thing. I've noticed this the 3rd time. Every time he's been featured, he does this little shampoo over his head. Good for him. And then we end up doing a little body roll. Everyone's making subtly different choices. I would think it would make sense if we had one other person facing the opposing direction. Maybe Gyuvin could have been a good option because it would have made it balanced, right? So that's my one thing to note there. Once a cute guy sounds like I'm picking on him. I'm not. It's just found it circumstantial. Anyway, but he's a trickster anyway, right? So it's kind of fine. Just kidding. Anyway, we pull it. We have this arm. Ricky had to frolic to the back really quickly. Little step touches, little 2-step, and everyone's facing back. Da 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 da. They are having their moment. Swim with the arms, uppercut, and then they take the arms, boom. Like they're about to do Mary J. Blige, but they don't. And then they take the legs, big body roll. Here we go. And he says, break it off. Let's go. They run away. Come on, Teddy. Into a little train, which we're here for. Come on now. Now, hold on. This part right here. It's all tension. Oh. So this is just a step touch. Da, da, da. All that. That part doesn't feel the same as what's going on in the demo. It's just how they're doing it. It's just how they're doing it. Okay, cool. Going back here, let's actually see what's going on with what they're doing. Because I don't think they do the head. Da-da. Yeah, they don't. I like the We Dumb Boys one, but yeah, it's very dense, and I don't think it wasn't necessary, which is what we're seeing here. I still get the point across. It would have been nice to see or have something else, though, if you weren't going to do this, to really recognize, okay, it's Hal going, and then it does sound like a call and response in the track. So having that formulated in some way here, even if we didn't go with it in the demo, because it would have been harder to clean what they went with. But it's still simple, though. They were able to do this, though. You know what I mean? Anyway, break away. Come on, Teddy. He does a little train. He scoops it. I can tell he's just doing movement. He has not trained in house before. Yeah, because a lot of those sequences, having a jack allows for it to phrase more authentically. And there, it felt like movement, 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 movement. But enough for me to still clock what it is, though. So we got to give him that. We take the arms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bringing it back. And they go bounce, bounce, cross, uncross, head. And then I really like that we had Gunwook keep his head up, but he isolated it with the little finger because everybody else had boom. Love it. To step it back. Honestly, with all the featured sections, whose feature is the most, has the most captivation about it? I would say Gunwook's when it comes to what's going on in the formations and the transitions and the choreo itself for his parts. I actually think all of them are really interesting, especially the very first time we see him featured in this track where they all have this running, but it's a reversal with half the group. That was a cool visual. So I'm saying he was set up quite well for this. I would say Ricky's is notable because of his repetition of the swing, but everybody has some fun moments, and good for Teddy for growing in movement quality. The fact that he fits right in. I mean, all of them fit right in. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest, but I know Teddy is way more of a vocal powerhouse, so everyone's done a great job. For real. They present the arm, they bring it in. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, ball change. And switch it up so rich and cool. Hold on, what did they say? I think they say the word rich. So rich and coolish? If they say rich, then Ricky should have been featured there. Keep with the brand all the way through. Come on, Wake One. I'm just kidding, though. And they inhale. Doo-doom. And they go, let's go. So he has this moment, he pushes forward. They all turn out of it. Really nice. And we have a high note from Teddy in the back. Have our moment. We punch it, and then we wrist rotation. So notice this hand is whipping around to initiate the knees, and this other hand is presenting out. Really cool polyrhythm with a lot involved. And then we go tap, 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 which is nice. So it goes new kids on the block. So some ball changes with one of the front legs lifted up more. Yep. And then, yeah, so I like that they used that to help with different directions. It provided depth. Inverted V with a feature in center. I think spacing could have been a little bit better. Oh my God, I promise I'm not picking on him. Gyuvan needs to scoot back to be in line with Sung Hanbin. Okay, tension out of it, the clap. Come on with the little rooftop. You've seen that in the slick back challenge whenever they elevate the legs or they have a space in between this move. I've also, fundamentally, you can get away with the rooftop, but I'm going to go Juby slide if we're going to go for the viral sense of things for why that's there. That's what I'm going to go with. Cool. And they use that as a transition. Now, I don't know if it's because of the camera angle, but it does look like Gunwook's side is a little bit too far in. I do appreciate the spacing here, but I don't really know if this is our center where this camera is. So that's life. Yeah, new kids on the hit them, folks. Let's go, let's go. Well, high, low. Come on, little toss it up with the punches. Then some tension out of it with a jump rope. So we're bookending intro and outro choreo, which is nice. It also subconsciously trains your audience that it's about to be over because we Oreo cookied it. That's why I love doing that formation or choreographic structure because it's such an easy way to make your audience aware that we're coming to an end. It's a conclusion. That's why conclusions exist. It's a reintroduction of the intro, of the whole point of the shebang that you're going for. And so putting that into choreography and your overall composition just sets everybody up for success, even if it could come across a little bit more simpler. So yeah, they hit it back, hit over. And now all of this with the snake and the clap. We love that. Also, I would say another component as to why my gut's telling me we're not really leaning into the synchronicity as the role of this group for the 5th gen. I think tailors to the fact that our formations are a little off and our staging and spacing is a little off, because that would be something that's like abnormally crisp when you see in transitions. But they're doing a really good job. It just feels like a very normal, clean, routine interaction in those types of formats of things. I'm not going to sit here and hold it over their head that they need to fix it. It was just a one-off. Good chance it's barely readable or recognizable whenever you watch it full speed. So the claps are nice. Da 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 da. Hey, hey, yeah, you better pick it up. Nice little party moment. New Kids on the block. We toss it. The vibration was very interesting on that. Do-do-doom-doom. Block. Yeah, hit, hit, hit. Brush. Now ball change, and we take it. Boom. And we punch with it. We're nice and frozen. Look at him go. That was so much fun. Oh, goodness gracious. This is really cool. I'm officially on this marathon journey with y'all, and I know you guys are excited more and more. And if you want access to Boys Planet, it is on Patreon. All of these analysis and reactions are on there too. And I'm not just looking at ZEROBASEONE. I'm looking at pretty much every group that has come as a result of the show that involved contestants, such as Even and oh my gosh, TIOT, Newbie, just to name a few, X-Love. This is going to be a really, really fun journey. Y'all know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.